Nice. It's gonna be the best day of my life. My life. Welcome to another coffee talk time video. In this video I'm drinking out of the most cutest mug ever. It's this owl mug. I can't tell you where it's from because it's my sister's and she got it as a gift. So that's that. I'm drinking Nescafe Gold Blend and it is my absolute favourite coffee at the moment. I'm addicted. So good. Today you gotta grab your tea, you gotta grab coffee, you gotta grab your snacks because we are talking all things travel related, my absolute favourite subject. So if you want to start your travelling adventure and you've got no idea where to start, then carry on watching this video. So in my last video I talked about how I'm going travelling next year, but there was a point where I had absolutely no clue where to begin. I didn't know how to even start planning my trip, booking my trip, what to do, not a clue. I scoured YouTube trying to find the best videos to try and help me, but I just really couldn't find what I was looking for. I had no idea why, and it was the most stressful thing ever. So what I decided to do was very, very simple. I started from complete scratch. I looked at the map of the world and I was like, right, where do I want to go? Grab my phone and I wrote them all down on my phone. So the countries that I wrote, so I sectioned it off into two categories. I wrote a priority country category and a secondary kind of backup category if I had enough money to do so. So I wrote down Bangkok, Thailand, Singapore, Sydney, Australia, Queensland, Australia, Auckland, New Zealand, and then my secondary backup countries were Papua New Guinea, Philippines, Hong Kong, China, and India. So I did all of that because I had to establish where I wanted to go. So if you are at a stage where you don't know how to start, establish where you want to go and then you have an idea of what countries you actually want to visit. So two websites that really helped me actually were wikitravel.org and wikivoyage.org, and they've got a load of information about every country. They've got transport information while you're there, and it's just two really good websites that really helped me become more informed about the countries. And also when I wrote down all of my countries, I wrote down a load of cities. I don't want to try and pronounce them because I feel like I'm going to butcher the name, but I also wrote down transport because transport is like important as well. Like while you're there, how are you going to get around? So I wrote down there's a sky train, there's a subway, an overnight train, a yellow truck taxis, local long distant bus services, speedboat tours, motorbike taxis, tuk-tuks, and rent a motorbike. So yeah, those are also important things that you should know before you go to these countries to make sure you know how you're going to get around. So I think that once you've established where you want to go, that's great, that's the first step. At least you've actually realised that you want to go travelling and you've decided what countries you want to go to. I then think personally, from my experience, that you should have a look at your budget. What money do you have available? How much do you want to spend on your trip? Because you might want to keep a lot of money saved for when you come back to your home country. I think that's really important as well. You want to make sure that you've got sort of a lump of cash to keep you going once you've got back. You need to establish your budget because that could decide how long you go for. Is it going to be 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, a year even? So I think it's really important to really sit down with your finances, maybe even make an Excel spreadsheet, really get organised to see how much you can spend on accommodation, how much you're going to spend on flights, how much you're going to spend on visas, vaccinations, all these other things that when I was planning my trip, I completely forgot to budget. I really did. Because when I booked my trip and I was like, great, yeah, this is quite expensive, but I'm so excited. And then I remembered I still have to pay for visas, I have to pay for vaccinations. So you need to think about this when you're planning your budget as well. So next thing that I would personally think about is, do you want to go solo? Do you want to go in a group? Do you want to go with friends? Do you want to go on an organised tour? There are so many options, it's actually crazy. There's volunteering, there's work abroad. I remember sitting down, I went on the STA website, which I think is Start the Adventure, their travel branch, and I remember I was looking at all the options and I was thinking, oh my gosh, I'm so overwhelmed with all the options that I had. I think I knew from the get-go that I wasn't going to wait around for other people to make a decision, if like my other friends, if they wanted to come travelling with me. And I think that when I went to America a few years ago to work at a summer camp, I did that on my own and I loved it. And I think the reason why I wanted to go travelling again was because I missed that solo independence that I had when I was working in America and I was on my own. So I think that is a really important step. How do you want to go travelling? When I established what I wanted to do, how much my budget was, and the fact that I wanted to go solo, I finally decided to go to the STA branch in the city that I live to finally book my trip. I told my friends about it because I knew that she really wanted to go to Thailand, but she at the time was planning on going with her friends a lot earlier than I was planning on going. So I was like, okay, well, I've got this appointment booked. If you want to come with me, feel free to come. So in the end, she did actually come with me and she booked the trip with me. So now me and one of my best friends are going together, but we are going in an organised group. The reason why we've decided to go in an organised group is that I have quite a lot of anxiety about going travelling. Even though I'm so excited to do it, I'm quite nervous. So, and my well, not necessarily my dad, but my mum's quite nervous. So I think I liked the idea that I was going in a group more because I know it would put her mind at ease, and it also put my mind at ease. And I understand that it is a lot more expensive than solo travelling can be, because obviously you just book things along the way. Hostels are very, very cheap. But I was in a position that I had this money. I've been saving up for a very long time. I've had so many jobs in my lifetime, and I'm very fortunate that I've saved up a lot of money, so I was in a position to spend a little bit more money on booking an organised trip. So, and I'm very grateful that my friend also has that money to come on that organised trip with me, so it makes me feel so much better, and it makes my mum feel so much better as well. So after you've established all of that, because you don't have to book your trip with STA, they can give you advice, and that is what they're there for, to give you travel advice, to make you feel a little bit more better about your trip. They might, like our travel agent gave us links to websites, because we've got to book trains to get to and from tour location starts. So like one of our tours, it starts and finishes in Bangkok, but we're volunteering in a few days later in Chiang Mai, so we have to get an overnight train from Bangkok to Chiang Mai. So they can give you website links, and they can actually help you like get started on booking your solo trip. You don't have to book an organised trip. They've also got things in their brochures that you can book hostels in their brochures, you can book excursions, day trips, volunteer trips. They've got so much in their brochures. So I actually have 3 of their brochures that I got at my first meeting. So if you watched my last video, you'll know that while I still had a job, I went and had a meeting with the STA, but I didn't actually book it on that first meeting. But she gave me, my travel agent, gave me a load of their brochures. So this is the Australia one, the Australia, New Zealand and South Pacific. I also got the Asia one, that's the first one that I went for. And I actually didn't get this one until I booked my trip on my second appointment, because I originally wasn't going to do volunteering. I was just going to do Asia and Australia, but then when I went back to book my trip and my friend came along, she wanted to do the volunteering, so we got the volunteering one as well. So yeah, I guess most people when they go travelling, they want to, you know, go solo, go independent, they book along the way. But I'm just one of those people, I'm a planner. I like to plan things in advance, and that thought just gives me so much anxiety, like not knowing where I'm going next. So it definitely gives me a lot of comfort to know that I'm going to be in a group and we know our itinerary. Like I've already got my itinerary for my trip, so that gives me a lot of comfort, and that's okay. If you want to go solo, that's great. If you want to go in an organised group, that's great. Travelling is all personal to you, and it's whatever makes you feel comfortable. You shouldn't feel pressured by if you don't feel comfortable with what one of your friends wants to do, then book your own trip, and that's perfectly okay. So now I guess it's time to finally talk about my trip, what I'm doing. So currently what I have booked, I'm doing 3 different group tours, and I'm away for I think almost 2 months. I think it's a little bit less than 2 months. So I'm flying to Bangkok, well, me and my friend are flying to Bangkok, and we're doing the Indochina Discovery with STA. It is a big month-long trip. It's 30 days. It starts in Bangkok and it finishes in Bangkok. And we will be doing 4 countries in this tour. So we will start off in Bangkok, and then we go into Cambodia, which is kind of like next to Thailand. And then we go to Vietnam. We start in the south of Vietnam and we work our way north, and then we go to Laos. I hope I'm pronouncing that right, because I've heard like so many different pronunciations. I used to say Lao, but I think it's Laos. And then we are going from Laos back into Thailand. We're going to Chiang Mai, and then we go back to Bangkok, and then we finish in Bangkok. Our second trip is actually the volunteering. So we finish in Bangkok, and we've already got our accommodation booked in Bangkok, because we've got, I think, 2 nights in Bangkok before our volunteering starts. We're then getting the overnight train from Bangkok to Chiang Mai, and we're going to be doing a week volunteering with the elephants. Originally, that wasn't part of my plan. This was what my friend wanted to do. This is what my best friend really wanted to do. So it is the Thai elephant conservation. It's in the volunteering book at STA, so you can check it out. It's in Chiang Mai, and it's for, I think it's for 7 days. Yeah, 7 days. So you can do it for 2 weeks, but we've chosen to do it for 1 week, so it's quite expensive actually. But I'm actually really excited. I'm a bit nervous because they obviously are magnificent, huge animals, which makes me a bit nervous. But I'm sure once I'm there, hopefully, fingers crossed, I'll be okay. Then we take the overnight train from Chiang Mai to Bangkok, and we've got our accommodation booked for Bangkok, so that makes me feel a lot happier. And then we are starting our island hopper trip, so that is back in the Asia book. We are going from Bangkok to, gosh, I'm going to have to look now because I can't actually, bear with you guys, bear with. Here we go, right, Thailand island hopper trip. So we're starting in Bangkok, and we're getting the train down to, ready to butcher a name, Chao Sok National Park. Fingers crossed I pronounced that right. And then we go over to the eastern islands, so Chao To and Chao Hainan. I'm sorry. And then we're going down to the Koh Phi Phi Islands. Phi Islands? I don't know. Then we finish our trip in Phuket. So yeah, that is basically our trip so far. I'm due to fly back to London from Phuket, and my friend who I'm going with is due to fly to Australia. I am currently on the fence about going to Australia, because if I go to Australia then I have to go to New Zealand, because I am the biggest Lord of the Rings fan and The Hobbit fan ever. And if I go to Australia I have to go to New Zealand, because I'll have to do all the Lord of the Rings stuff. But I don't know whether I want to work in New Zealand yet, so I'm still on the fence about that, but hopefully I can update you about that soon. But yeah, that's basically it. That's the trip that I'm going on. But if you're on the fence about going travelling, don't be on the fence anymore. Go. It will be the best experience you ever do. I mean, I can't really say much because I haven't been travelling yet, but I kind of take, because a few years ago in 2016, 2017, I worked in a summer camp in America. I've talked about it before, I've made other videos about it, and that was independent. I went on my own the first time, and honestly the sense, because long story short, I never moved out for uni. I've never moved out of my parents' home. I've never been independent. So when I went to America for the first time, it was like this whole new sense of purpose in my life, of new independence, and it was just everything. And right now I'm missing that so much, and that's why I want to go travelling again. And I just think if you're on the fence about it, just go. If you've got the opportunity and you've got the money, you've got the budget, you know where you want to go, you're not tied to a job anymore. Maybe, don't know what the circumstances about that, but like, you're not tied to a job, just go. And it'll be the best thing you ever do, I promise. Even though I haven't been proper travelling yet. But I don't know, I just think that everyone, especially if you're like sort of 17 to 30s, even older, like loads of like people above 30 go travelling and above 14. My travel agent from STA is working with an 80-year-old and he's going to Africa, and it's like you can at any age go travelling. I think we live on this beautiful, amazing planet that we have to go and explore, and yeah, there's a whole world out there that you need to explore, so just go, do it. So those are all the tips that I can give you today. I really hope that I've helped you one way or another. I hope my advice has persuaded you to go travelling, and I hope that if you do go travelling that you love it just as much as I love exploring the world. If you have been travelling, you've been backpacking, please do comment below. I'd love to hear your stories. So if you enjoyed this video, please do give it a like, comment, subscribe. I'm loving making videos at the moment because I'm not tied down to a job yet. I don't start till next month. This is going to be my hobby for a little while and I'm really enjoying doing this, so I really hope you're enjoying watching it. So please do make sure to give this video a like, give it a comment, subscribe if you want to, because I'm going to be making loads more travel videos, you guys. I'm going to get my backpack soon, so I want to talk about all about my backpack. I want to do packing tips, I want to do organisational trips. I've just got loads more ideas and I can't wait. So I hope you enjoyed this video and I'll see you next time.